Now to another story that's making headlines. A stream of lava from the Kilaueau volcano continues to threaten a residential community in Hawaii's Big Island. This 2,000-degree stream of molten rock is just yards away from homes and businesses. Officials announced today that an elementary school in the lava's projected path will be closed by Wednesday. Meanwhile, many residents have already chosen to leave, and there are reports that looters are targeting evacuated homes and businesses. The lava began flowing on June 27th and advanced about 13 miles since then. Kilaueau is one of the world's most active volcanoes. Well, Matt Purvis is a Pahoa resident and business owner, and Matt joins us on the phone from Pahoa. Matt, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you so much for taking some time with us. You live in this community. In fact, you are a business owner in this community. Let's just do a few nuts and bolts first. Has there been an announcement yet, Matt, of a mandatory evacuation? I know officials have said prepare, but do people have to leave at this point?
Yeah, we have. We personally have not received an evacuation notice, and from what I've seen, the only people who are actually getting notices are the houses and the residents who are directly in the flow. In other words, the lava could potentially hit their house in the next couple of days. And so, because it's a slow advancing flow, we usually have some warning. And I believe that Civil Defense has done a great job in really allowing people to remain as long as is safely allowed. There's a lot of closure for those who may lose their homes to be able to be there and even potentially watch it happen and videotape it and things like that. So they're really trying to allow people to stay as long.
Matt, I want to talk about your decision about whether or not you're going to leave before we get to that. What's the mood? Those people who are still there as they're watching, if you will, this destruction in slow motion happen to their town. What is that like for you guys?
Yeah, it's in one sense it's kind of excruciating because it's so slow, and we actually went through a pretty serious hurricane about a month and a half ago or so, and that was of course something that comes and goes in a night, and then you watch and you see what happened afterwards, And so in comparison, this is something where it's like we don't know where it's going to go. It slows down, it speeds up. So in a lot of ways, it's excruciating because of that. But to be honest, there's a lot of tension, but there's also a lot of positivity. And those who have decided to stay here are really just thinking forward and thinking, what are we going to do from here on out? And how can we help one another? And so there has been a lot of cooperation as well in the community.
And you've just tipped our viewers off to what your decision is. You told one of our Rise producers that you don't plan to evacuate. I'm just going to ask you this way. Why on earth not?
Well, we moved here because this is where we want to live. It wasn't just to, escape, and it wasn't just because we found an affordable place in paradise. It's because we really like the people here. We love the community. We love the way that it is here, and because we're not actually in physical harm's way to much, anyways. This is really our home, and that's how many people here feel and want to stay here, and we're one of those people. So unless we absolutely need to leave, we're going to stay. And even if we did need to leave our home or business, we would probably just move to another place in the same area.
We reported at the top of this segment that there have been some reports of looting. How widespread is that? It's almost unthinkable considering what's happening around you. And is there anything being done to prevent looters?
That's a good question. In terms of the prevention, I know it's very difficult. My experience with the police here has been very positive. They've helped me a lot, but I believe underserved, and so I think they're doing the best that they can, but probably they could use a few more people. It's a very large area here, and there's very few officers that are stationed here full time. And so I think they're doing their best. But it's difficult to explain if you've never been here, but it's very rural. It's very, wide open spaces. And so when someone leaves their home, for whatever reason it may be, they may not be able to continue working. They may work online, and they're not sure if they're going to have access to the internet after this takes place, things like that. If you don't have somebody staying there, it's not going to be that long before the wrong kind of people figure out no one's living there and that they can just walk in. And so that has been happening, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Our civil defense and the mayor have done a good job in increasing penalties for crimes for those who do get caught. because it's a state of emergency. And
Indeed.
so I think everyone's doing their best, but we also need to band together as a community and watch out for one another.
And we do want you to stay safe. Matt Purvis, thanks so much for taking some time. We wish you all the very best.